What is going on, guys? Just thought I'd tell you, since I said I'd make a video about it, about my work history. So let's get it. I have worked at a lot of places. Okay, starting off is water beds and stuff. It is a head shop, sells furniture, novelties, bongs, bowls, and cannabis paraphernalia. That's one of the places I've worked at. Awesome job, shitty management, really shitty management, shitty pay, $11 an hour. It's a horrible job when it comes to financial things, but it's a great job when, you're helping people, teaching people, and helping customers. I enjoy doing that. So, second job I had was KFC. KFC, I worked there for 3 whole days. I was supposed to be the cook, and I made chicken. That was the job, was to make the chicken there. Not really too damn complicated. It doesn't take a rocket scientist, but sadly they put me on dishes for 2 days out of those three, and I was not even cooking, and that's what I was hired to do. So I took a vape break and walked out and just quit. Told her I would be back to finish or start doing the dishes, and just left. Because I'm not doing dishes. That's not what I got hired here for. I either cook chicken or I go home. Second place or third place was Panera Bread. Panera Bread, the most nicest, simplest way I could put this for YouTube, for the viewers watching, and everything, that's revolved around that. Choosing my words here carefully. Panera Bread was just not my vibe. It wasn't my store. It wasn't. It just, for lack of better terminology, I didn't belong there. Let's just put it that way. That's the nicest way I could put it there. Somebody like me does not belong working at Panera Bread. So I worked there for quite a period of time. I ran register. I made sandwiches, salads, etc. I also worked at Massey's Pizza. Massey's Pizza was a disorganized mess at the time and had a bunch of pill addicts that worked for them. And, a crazy Italian lady that was very hot-headed. Nothing against Italian people, but she seemed very pissed off almost all the time, except at me. And I left before she could get pissed off at me, because that job was just hell. Between working with teenagers, adults, and working with a crazy Italian lady, I decided against that, essentially. So I quit the pizza place. I worked there probably for about a couple months, 2.5 months, I would say. Applebee's. Applebee's. Worked there for about 2 years. I worked at Applebee's as a grill cook. But the problem with that place is they want you in there at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and they don't know when you're going home, whenever the store closes. Sometimes I'd get off work, I'd go in there around 4, and I wouldn't get off till 1, 2:30, almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or in the morning, and have to be back in there at 4 in the afternoon. And it was just miserable. Every day we were busy. We constantly had to cook, constantly just always doing something. Something's always going on there. It's a very fast-paced restaurant. Okay? And everything that you cook there besides the sides takes forever. So it's very hard to manage the times where you cook the main course and then put the sides in. It was just hell. Plus, we had bosses that were just, it's hard to, express in YouTube terminology, but they were just rough bosses. Let's just put it that way. I have other words I'd rather pick, but, so there was that. Worked at Applebee's, I worked at KFC, I worked at Panera Bread, I worked at Waterbeds and stuff, I worked at Massey's Pizza, I worked at Frisch's as well. Frisch's, you know, that was one of my first jobs ever, was working at that hamburger place. And we had, when I worked there, we had quite a crazy manager. You know, there was days, and this is what made me quit Frisch's. There was days where I had off and I'd be in a park chilling, you know, just feeling the vibe, man. And then my employee would call me and be like, hey, can you come into work? And I don't want to come to work on my day off. So I'm just like, I'm just not in town, you know. I didn't know what the hell to say. So, you know, I don't want to tell them no. You know, I don't want to come in. I'm good. But so I said, I'm out of town right now, right? Well, she would, on her break, drive around town, in the town I looked for, looking, you know, and seeing me, and would text. And this happened 2 or 3 times. I'm like, dude, when you call me and ask me if I want to work and I tell you no, I ain't coming into work. I don't have to. I'm not scheduled that day. It's not happening. So why do you get in your car when you're on shift and come find me driving through town and be like, well, I thought you were out of town. Well, I mean, here, let me tell you, I don't want to fucking work today. There, and which I finally told her, I was like, I do not want to work today. I'm good, so you don't have to drive around town looking for me, is what I told her, you know. Eventually, after the 3rd time, I looked it up, and that's like illegal. It's a form of harassment. So I just quit. I told her I'm just not doing this. Every time I get a day off work, you call me in and I say no because I'm doing shit in my own life besides making hamburgers and dropping fries. And you come through town driving around like some mad woman looking for me to drag me back to Hamburgerville. Ain't happening. So that was another place, was Frisch's. Frisch's was a absolute nightmare. So I have had other jobs, siding, construction. I did for a while. I absolutely hate those jobs. Shout out to whoever does those jobs. Those are not easy jobs. Roofing, siding, concrete, masonry, all that stuff. I have done a lot of that work. I do not like it. I do not enjoy it. I will not do it again. I worked at a place called Columbus Castings at one point, and they burn metal. It's 114 degrees there. You get paid $1,700 every 2 weeks, which was really nice, honestly. So you'd bank about $3,200 a month, but the work, oh my God, you're talking about long sleeves, pants, and the building's 114 degrees, and then you have to use 60-pound Dremels and 80-pound jackhammers. And then you have to get into a flame retardant suit and use a flamethrower and clean out the kilns. And it's, oh my God. Dude, there's days I got off work, I sat on the toilet and had to lift my legs into the shower and push my back up to lock it into place to stand into the shower. And, you know, it's not like I'm old as hell. So, you know, I shouldn't have those type of problems. So I worked there for about 6 months, and it about killed me. And I was like, never again am I working in a place like that. I prefer retail, you know. I do. I like the more easier, cushy jobs, if you will. I mean, who doesn't? But I enjoy retail. I enjoy helping customers, teaching them about products they might know, or maybe where to find them, talking to them, you know, getting to know people. That's one cool thing about work, is you can genuinely get to know people, and you meet a lot of people. You know, I mean, most of us know the people we know either from school, work, or just, you know, the neighborhood. So Bunny rolled over, caught my attention. But anyway, that is my work. I mean, so far I've done all those. I've also worked at a tattoo shop before. I spent about 1.5 years, almost 2 years in a tattoo shop. Let me think. I did construction, siding, all those food jobs. I was trying to work at Chipotle, but their hiring process was ridiculous. So, I mean, that's another restaurant, but I can't say I work there necessarily, you know, but those are some of the jobs I had. None of them I enjoyed. You know, besides waterbeds and stuff, I enjoyed the customers. They liked me. But HR is deplorable there. They didn't pay me my last paycheck, and management there is concentration camp status. I mean, it's a party store. You're supposed to have fun. They treat it like, you know, one mess up and everything's fucked. You know, if you mess up the slightest thing, even if you get hired, you have to be on your feet for like 8 to 10 hours a day, which sucks. I mean, honestly, when you're tall, like I'm 6'1", being on your feet for 10 hours and not sitting down at all, period, sucks. It sucks. My suggestion is to get some comfortable shoes. So that's about the hardest part about being in retail, working at places like Walmart, Target, Waterbeds and stuff, the Hippie Hut, just different stores around my area. But I hope to eventually get a good paying job in retail or the cannabis industry or YouTube, essentially. More so YouTube. I believe this is a platform I belong on. You know, I've seen a lot of like-minded people. I watch a lot of like-minded people, so it's cool to know that there's a community of people. If you've made it this far in a video, don't forget to hit that like button. It greatly helps the channel, especially since this is a smaller channel and I'm going to be pumping out more content for you guys. But those are all the jobs I have had thus far. And let me tell you, all of them were some bullshit. I will tell you. They weren't great. I didn't enjoy them besides waterbeds and stuff, and the tattoo shop was pretty cool. Working there was great. So outside of the tattoo shop and the customers at waterbeds and stuff, it was horrible. Let me know some of your most favorite jobs and least favorite jobs down in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, I'm your host, Dustin, and I'm burning out.